Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning back in. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite ways to fish, and that is flipping around a soft plastic Texas rigged bait into, whether it's heavy cover, around docks, or laydowns, weeds, you name it. I like to flip. It's one of my favorite ways to fish. It's kind of one of the ways I grew up fishing up here in Wisconsin. I mean, river fishing, natural lakes. You pretty much had flipping baits tied on at all times. So it's a great way to catch fish. It's a fun way to fish. But one of the questions I get the most from subscribers is, how do I choose the right bait to flip? Well, guys, I feel like 50% of the time it probably doesn't matter. Where you put your bait on your cast is what matters, because the majority of the fish will bite on the fall and it's reaction strict. So whether I put a bait in there that's got flappers, a beaver style bait, whatever it is, if I made the right cast, 50% of the time I'm gonna get bit, if I threw a tin can in there. So that's my true answer. 50% of the time it doesn't matter. The other 50% of the time, I do have kind of a criteria that I use to determine what style of flipping bait I'm going to use. So the two styles really for me, when we're talking about true flipping style baits, which are going to be more, in that craw style or beaver style, I kind of break it down into two categories. So this is a Berkley Maxscent Creature Hawg, one of my absolute favorite pitching baits. It's much more of that beaver style bait where you've got just you got appendages, but they don't provide much kicking action. The other type would be like the Zoom Speed Craw, which has kicker legs and produces lots and lots of vibration. So those are kind of the two main styles, right? And that's the question I get is, do I throw it with kicker legs? Do I throw it a beaver style? How do you know when to use what? Well, for me, guys, this is what it comes down to. I like the kicker legs that provide a lot more motion when I'm fishing dirtier water or fish that are actively feeding. So the reason for the dirtier water is simply the fact that these legs will put off a substantially more vibration than a beaver style bait. If you were to throw, put this bait on your half-ounce weight, this bait will fall significantly slower than the beaver because these legs almost act like a parachute. As it's falling straight down, these legs are kicking, trying to hold the bait up and preventing the bait from falling quickly to the bottom. In dirty water, I want that because that vibration is telling fish in that area, hey, there's something here. That's going to draw fish from further away, and draw fish that might even be in the area, but because the water's dirty, don't know that the bait's there. The other key with the cross style, with these big flapper legs, is that when you're fishing dirtier water, the bait falls slower, like I said, and because it falls slower, the fish has more time to key in on it, and they have more time to find the bait. So not only now are you producing more vibration, you're getting a slower fall, which allows the fish to locate it, which in dirty water, a lot of times is the hard part. They can't locate it specifically. So you're trying to do what you can to help the fish find your bait. That's my favorite time to throw craw flappers. If I'm fishing really clear water, that's when I like to go strictly with the beaver style bait. To counter what I said about the cross or the flapper style legs, a beaver style bait, when you Texas rig it, so you put it on your half-ounce weight again, it's not going to fall straight down, for the most part, as straight down as the craw flapper legs. Because of the way the body is, the bait's built, it's either going to kind of do a little spiraling down or just, it's gonna glide more so than a bait with flappers. In clear water, I like that because it looks more natural to me, The other thing is, because the bait falls faster, in clear water, you get more reaction strikes, and the fish are much more visually feeding. So if they're visually feeding, I want them to see something that looks natural, but at the same time, I don't want them to be able to see it super good. I want it to, you know, glide past their face, and that creates them to make a reaction strike, and therefore they eat the bait. They can't, you know, it's not slowly falling, helicoptering down like I feel like some of the craw baits look like with big flappers. And they're not able to zone in on it and get a good look at it. So that to me is a huge, huge factor. I really like to throw both baits on, you know, as light a weight as possible. You know, for one, a light weight on a beaver style bait allows the gliding motion to come into effect substantially more so than you would see with, say, a 3/4 ounce weight. The same goes with the craw. You know, if I can keep my bait at a much slower rate of fall, then I'll do that. So generally, when I'm Texas rigging craw baits like this, I'm gonna choose a lighter weight. I just like to go with about as light a weight as possible. That lets me put the bait where I need it and allows me to present it properly. So, you know, if I'm fishing around milfoil, a 3/16 ounce weight will not get these baits down through the weeds. So I'm not gonna use a 3/16 ounce weight. If I'm fishing around laydowns, I could probably get a 3/16 ounce weight to work just fine with these. So it goes, the weight is determined by what you're fishing, what cover you're fishing. You know, and the same goes when you're using these baits as jig trailers. They pretty much do the same thing. You know, if you put this on a jig trailer, the beaver style bait, you'll get more gliding motion out of your jig. If you put the flapper style bait on the back of a jig, it slows the rate of the fall of the jig, but you're not going to get the gliding motion. Okay, so if you ask me, guys, what bait am I going to choose? Which one do I prefer? Well, my honest answer, and I really like both these baits, my honest answer is I'm not choosing either of these. So it was kind of a trick question. What I'm going to choose is a bait that's kind of a hybrid, like the Berkley Pit Boss. So in this case, you've got the two middle appendages that don't really do much, but then on the side you've got these two that I'm holding out that have flapping motion. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You know, if I were to put this bait on the same weight as those two other baits, it would fall at a rate of speed between them. So I still get, you know, a little slower fall, I get in gliding motion, and I'm getting kicking motion, and, you know, still getting the gliding motion that I want. So it's really a hybrid between the two. So the majority of the time, I'm going to choose a Pit Boss or something, you know, that would fall in line with this. For me, it's a Pit Boss. And then I'm gonna veer off to either the straight beaver style, like this Creature Hawg, or something more with straight flappers, like the Speed Craw, if I'm fishing super dirty water or if I'm fishing ultra clear water. That's just kind of how I break it down. And again, guys, it's not, as I said before, the biggest key to success anytime you're pitching around soft plastics is location of your bait. The majority of your bites are going to come within the first drop of that bait, and therefore I don't personally believe that the bait itself makes a huge difference. I do think it makes a big difference, though, you know, when the fishing is not really good and you're kind of in one of those different scenarios where, okay, now you got to entice the fish to bite. So do you need vibration? You know, do you need something more of a glide fall? What is the water conditions you're fishing? So that's where I'm at. And that's one reason, guys, I'm always talking about the Pit Boss and why I think it's such a great bait. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to probably really disagree with me on some of what I've said, or just in terms of bait choices, or be like, you can throw a flapping bait all day long. You can. I'm not saying you won't catch fish, but I'm saying there's times when I think you can make the right decision that might get you 1, 2, 3 extra bites throughout the day. And that could be a big difference by the end of the day. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, you know, this was something I've had a lot of subscribers ask me about since I've started my YouTube channel. I hope it was helpful. If it was, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, guys. We got new tips and tricks coming out every day.